That little devil on your shoulder never really goes away as you level up in your life, as you reach for more expansion, more fulfilment, more alignment with who you really are. It whispers not so sweet nothings in your ear, telling you you're better off where you are, even though it's really painful, that you might lose it all, that you'll probably be ridiculed.
It can be debilitating listening to that voice, constantly in a state of limbo, a horrible in-between world of what you are and what you could truly allow yourself to be. The truth is, sometimes you just have to go anyway and wait for the mind to catch up. In this episode, we're going to show you how. Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Mentors with me, James.
And me, Claire. How are you all doing out there?
So today we're talking about another level, another devil, which is basically, we're going to be talking from personal experience, but also many of our clients, how when we go for growth, when we're leveling up, we get all these new fears and anxieties starting to appear that attempt to derail us. So that's what we're diving into.
Yeah, we always call it another devil, another level, like it's sitting on your shoulder.
No, another level,
another devil. Another devil. The other way round. We always say that that's what's sitting on your shoulder as you expand into the fullest version of yourself, into more alignment with who you are, and you go for more expansion. So we're really, really excited to talk to you about that because, as James just said, I know so many of you are going to relate to it. And we've had it big time in the last few weeks for what we've been going for and what we've been, setting ourselves new goals, but also some of the experiences we've had in our life. So
yeah, we get it a lot.
We do get it a lot. It never goes away. It never goes away. It's one thing really, really important to say right now is it never goes away, that little devil sitting on your shoulder as you go to another level. I got it right this time.
You got it right. Well done. But other than that, I'll tell you what we've been up to. We have been lucky enough to guest on a couple of fab podcasts.
Yes.
The Sexy Aging one.
Yeah, Sexy Aging. That was amazing.
Talking to people all over the world. Again, it's just we often knock tech, but it's been amazing. We've done a podcast in New Zealand, a podcast in Kansas City, America.
Yes. It's really amazing. That's the beauty of social media, right? This is where it really works, and you have to use it to your advantage. And you have to use it so it doesn't suck the energy out of you. But James just reached out to a whole load of people, loads of different podcasts, other people that run their own podcasts. And it's just amazing because they've all come back and we're just spreading the midlife health and happiness message across the globe.
It's
aren't
fabulous,
we?
Isn't it?
And then you are on a panel talking about the andropause.
I am in November for a corporate, basically. They're doing a menopause workshop day with a panel of experts, and I've been asked to come along to talk about the male menopause, so I'm really happy about that.
Really excited. And then I'm doing a corporate workshop because it's World Menopause Day on the 18th. So I'm doing a corporate workshop for that, which is awesome. And what else have we been up to? We've been in the press a lot.
We have been in Stylist. We've been in Ham and High, which is a local newspaper for North London. OK Magazine, The Express.
S Magazine.
Yeah.
Stylist. Did you say Stylist?
Yeah. I did say Stylist, yeah.
It's great. We've had a bumper couple of weeks, haven't we?
It's been really good.
It has. And then we're off to Marbella soon.
Not long
But
now.
that kind of leads us nicely into what this is all about. So let's start at the very beginning again. So another level, another devil. It never goes away. That little devil on your shoulder that as you level up and you reach for more expansion, more fulfillment, and more alignment with who you really are, it's that voice that whispers. Sometimes you're not even conscious of it. This is a really important thing to say. You're not necessarily conscious of it. You just get a feeling. So a lot of the time, when our subconscious mind it is kind of trying to hold us back or seeking pleasure over pain, or taking the path of least resistance, we actually get a feeling in our body. So I want you to be really aware of that. You might get like a tightness across your chest or your throat, or you might get like a funny gut feeling, like a little knot in your stomach.
Yeah, I'll say it's interesting this one. I was just thinking actually, like, it kind of overlaps with the inner critic a little bit. And often when we're about to go for growth or make a decision on something, we'll get those kind of doubts, those fears, of sometimes like really over catastrophizing. But what we're talking about here, I think, is more. Sometimes when you overcome those and you get into the process and you're like bouncing along going, and then suddenly there's the devil there going, what have you done?
Yeah. What have you got yourself into
and
here?
It kind of starts maybe like bringing some of those original fears back or finds whole new ones. So it's really interesting area to explore. Actually, and talk about how we come through it.
We are going to give you 8 tips at the end, always trying to be practical with strategies at the end that you can go away and really think about. But yeah, I mean, that devil on your shoulder might whisper things like, so for me and for everyone basically, it all utter things like, oh, you might lose it all. So you've gone for it, but then you get that panic and that fear again that will show up physically as well. It might tell you you're going to lose it all. Who are you? Who are you, honestly, to go for this? You're used to being, you're used to struggling. You're used to striving. You're used to not having it all. So why do you think you can now? You might be ridiculed, you might fail, you might lose friends, you might even lose your relationship, your home even. So it really, like James said there, it can really catastrophize the whole situation. And we all know, this is the thing, you are not alone. It can be debilitating in that constant state of limbo, a horrible in-between world between what you are and what you can truly allow yourself to be. Because we all have that inner self, that higher self that says, come on, this is who you are, really. This is who you can be. This is what's available to you. But oftentimes that little devil will go, no, that doesn't matter. Just stay safe.
It's fascinating, isn't it? It's fascinating how we use our wonderful imagination often to think about the worst things. This is really pertinent to me, actually. I've been working on my Rise program for Midlife Men. And we delve into this in quite some depth on it. So I've been putting together all the workshop videos for this and the worksheets. I'm basically looking, at fears and embracing them, accepting them. Because often we'll just get these fears and they become so paralysing. We don't take the step, or we're along the road and then we get this kind of like fear paralysis and stop. So it's really helpful to the work I've been doing here is just to explore them, write them down. And once you write them down, you realise how ridiculous some of them are or how unlikely they are to occur.
Yeah,
have a plan for dealing with them. But then also, don't forget about the benefits of what you're doing. Because what happens is that little fear voice takes over, doesn't it? The devil speaks louder and louder. And suddenly you forget all about the benefits of why you're doing this thing in the first place. You just start to look at all the things that go wrong.
Tapping into the 8 strategies there. No, it's good. It's all good. No, it's all good. So, the truth is, I suppose what we're trying to get at is that sometimes you have to go anyway and wait for the mind to catch up. That's really important. You're just sitting there in limbo waiting, but the truth is you're going to have to go anyway.
I was going to say, here's the truth. Like you're never ready, right? Yeah. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. They wait for this perfect moment in their heads.
When that voice isn't there.
When the voice isn't there, or when all these external things have aligned, right? You know what? There's never the perfect time. But there's always a good time to start with growth, which is now, basically. The best time is yesterday. Yeah. The next best time is today.
I mean, that is such a truth that there's never a good time. But also, just stepping into that upgraded version of yourself is really powerful because energetically, honestly, I can't tell you, I've seen this in myself, in clients, in James. What is a beautiful thing I've seen with James stepping into the Rise Challenge and all the stuff he's getting out of that. My heart is burst open wide watching him go before he's ready, to be quite honest with you, step into the upgraded version of himself. Because it's sending energetically a message out to the universe saying, you know what, I'm going to bet on myself here. Doesn't matter what else is going on, I'm going to bet on myself. And then the universe conspires. The universe rewards the brave and it conspires. It feels good energy and then it starts to whip around you and then you draw good energy towards you. So we're going to talk about why this has come up for us recently, aren't we?
Yeah, but historically it's come up so many times.
So many.
Obviously we're running our own business, and you reach times where you're like, we need to stretch now. We need to invest in something, in a person, in a technology, whatever. And you're like, it's not a great time. We can't really afford it. But actually, if we don't, we're going to stay stagnant. So we do it, and then we have the kittens about it, yeah, and then we push on through.
Yeah, we do. Like, honestly, you should see sometimes where we press a button on something and then, like, I'm awake in the middle of the night. And it still happens, going, oh my goodness, what have we done? We've taken on an amazing lady recently to help with our social media stuff. And we've also we've also got another lady helping us do other bits and pieces. But it's the first time we've really taken on someone that invoices us on a regular basis. So that was a big step too. But the other one, right, is... we have just invested in a gorgeous, gorgeous new car, a new Audi, right? So James and I have been looking at this for about 1.5 years because we have been driving around to and from Spain in Lucy. And now Lucy, bless Lucy, she was a Suzuki Swift Sport bought by myself 10 years ago. Literally shoving all your belongings. Can you imagine shoving all your belongings into a tiny Suzuki Swift that didn't even have a boot, basically, backwards and forwards from Ibiza to Marbella? And it was time. She wasn't going to really do another journey. We're going to do another journey in a couple of weeks back to Marbella, and she just wasn't going to make it, was she? We ended up spending loads more money. So we went and signed the deal down in the Audi garage,
and then panicked.
Literally, I said to James, which is actually one of the tips, I was like, I'm really panicking. What if we've overstretched ourselves? What if we can't make the payment every month? Because also, by the way, we're one of these people, we've never had stuff on credit. You know, we've never had stuff like that just has never appealed to me to have, or we've just not been in a position to. And I've not really wanted to. But now we know we can. And there's a part of us that obviously knew that we could, otherwise we wouldn't have gone and done it. We wouldn't have taken that massive a risk. But yeah, there was a massive panic, wasn't there?
There was. Which we're over now. I said to Claire at the time, I was like, the thing is, Claire, like, you will feel like that now because it's new. I said, give it 1 or 2 weeks, you will not even think about it anymore. And how true is that of you in your life when you've taken a decision that you've agonised over, then you've done it, as you're doing it, or just after you've done it, you're like, oh, what have I done? And literally 2 weeks later, you don't even think about it anymore.
It's
just
normalised
in your life.
Yeah.
This is how you level up, right? You know, comfort and growth are opposing forces. So we should feel uncomfortable as we grow. And then as we ease into that new level, that feeling of comfort will come back. And when we're there, then it's time to move again to the next level.
But most people don't know that. And most people get really, really scared. That gut feeling, that like tightness, that fear really gets hold of them. And they think they're never going to feel normal having that or doing that or experiencing that. So they just stop. They don't trust that. And this is what this podcast is about. It's basically about saying you're never not going to feel that, but that's the whole point of going forward, and you will keep normalising it, and then you can go to the next level and then the next level. But expect that devil to be sitting on your shoulder going, hello, who are you? What? Really? You think you can do that? It happens to all of us, you know. Even with the Midlife Mentors podcast, we started that 2.5 years ago. We thought there might just be an empty void. And, you know, there was at first. No one... You know, it has to build up. Again, this is about consistency and momentum and all that sort of stuff. But now, look at it now. It's amazing.
It is. Top 2%.
Yeah.
Globally.
And 70 plus 5-star reviews.
Yeah. And loads of you messaging us all the time about stuff you've heard on there and asking questions and stuff, which we're really grateful for as well.
Oh, and then, you know, moving to Marbella. Even last year, we were paying... Again, we completely committed ourselves to two rents.
Cost of two residences, didn't we?
London and Marbella. We were like, why are we doing that? Really? Is that great? Got out to Marbella thinking, was that sensible? And guess what? It is, because here's the thing. The universe responds to the energy of expansion. It responds to the energy of excitement, of fulfilling your potential, of being in a joyful place. It responds to that. It doesn't respond to stagnant energy. It doesn't respond to fear. It does, but it just keeps you locked there over and over again. So by stepping forward, like I said, the universe goes, oh, okay, I'll catch up now. Okay, yeah, I'll catch up now. And then the mind catches up as well. It doesn't happen the reverse way round.
So just remember that, that devil is there for a reason. It's obviously good to think through scenarios before you go, and we're not advocating taking like wild risks or anything like that.
Which we have also done.
But, you know, it is good to be aware of the potential pitfalls, but then take the risk anyway. If you weigh it up and on balance, go, you know what, I think if I succeed at this, and I will succeed at it, then I'm going to be better off than if I just stay where I am.
Well, that comes from one of the things that I was going to say as well, is like we come from a place, well, we try to, we don't always. Sometimes we'll come from a place and go, okay, this is how it's going to work, rather than how it's not going to work. Sometimes we don't overthink it, again, then that freaks us out. So I'm an overthinker, or I used to be a lot more of an overthinker, but I still am to a degree. So I'll overthink it too much and then talk myself out of it, whereas now I just go before I'm ready. Whether that devil's on my shoulder or not. So coming from a place of how it works rather than how it's not going to work is a really key point. But so if that resonates with you and you're like, my goodness, I know it will for so many of you, we've got 8 tips to move through this, because you deserve so much to come out of that limbo land. You deserve so much to move towards your dreams. And understand, like, awareness is power. You can't change what you don't know. So actually, hopefully this podcast and the tips we're going to give you will help you move through it, because you really, really deserve it. So, jump on.
First tip, I'm going to give you an A and a B on this tip, actually, is go slow. Again, we live in this fast, quick society. We expect everything to happen instantly. And so many of us get hung up on when we make a decision. We're like, I want the results now. We see this all the time with its clients, with, kind of like body goals, whether it's about wealth goals, whether it's about, just anything. People are like, I want the results now. It takes time, and you have to give it time, right? People, and also linked to that, people will start and they don't start seeing the results in the first 2 days or 3 days, and they're just like, oh, it hasn't worked, give up. You've given it like 3 days. You need to, like, once you make the jump, commit to it and give it time to work. And my part B on that is like, also, don't expect success to be linear. We also tend to think of success as being a straight line, like a linear thing. It's not. It's wiggly, squiggly line.
I know, wiggly, squiggly line. And also on that, go slow, because your subconscious mind is going to take a while to catch up, right? So, I used to do vision boards, and I used to have this vision board of something that I would want in 20 years, 5 years' time, 10 years' time. All these magnificent... That's great to have, but actually... my subconscious mind can't work like that, and most people's can't. It's like, actually, I need to go slow. I need to, piece by piece, get towards my dream, one step after another, and go slow, so my subconscious mind can create balance, and that it can create an understanding of, oh, okay, yeah, that was safe to do. And that's okay. And look, it creates trust. By going slow, it creates trust between you, your higher self, and your subconscious mind. Have a plan B. So this is number 2. So I was talking to James about this before we decided to record the podcast, and I was saying, some people say, oh, don't have a plan B. Don't have one, because then you've got a get out clause. I don't agree with that. We don't agree with that. I think have a plan B, because again, it soothes the subconscious mind and it creates balance. Don't necessarily quit. We're saying, like, quit your job and go after, just sit in a field somewhere writing a book. That's not going to work. It's also going to freak your subconscious mind out. And that devil on your shoulder is going to go, this is a bad idea. Because quite frankly, it is. So it's about having a plan B and just kind of thinking, okay, how do I want to build out a plan for this that is, again, slow, but that helps me get there in a way that is going to align with my subconscious mind without it freaking out too much.
Exactly that. So it's really good, actually, if you write down, not just an overall plan B, but like I was saying earlier, like if you list out, all those things you're thinking, oh, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? Have a plan to deal with them. Like, few things in life are permanent, right? Something goes wrong, there'll be a fix for it. And actually, just having the comfort of going, oh, if this happens, I can fix it by doing this, will also make you feel more secure in stepping forward and taking that bold action.
Absolutely.
Write it down, so that's linked. Write down your goal. Do explore, what you're catastrophizing about.
Yeah.
Write the plan. If the catastrophe happens, how are you going to fix it? Do write down the benefits of taking the action, not just for now, but maybe extending 6 months, a year, 3 years. And also write down the cost of inaction, because you want to take this decision or go for this goal for a reason.
Oh, you're stepping forward there.
I know I am, but just write all this stuff down, explore it, because once you've done that, you find getting it on paper actually soothes the subconscious as well.
It does,
and you've got a plan for deal for multiple contingencies.
It does, actually. Just getting it down. That's what we were leading to there. It's just even writing down what that devil on your shoulder is saying, because it wants to be heard. It's not going to go away by ignoring it either. That's one of the things we say. Give it a voice. go, okay, I'm listening to you. I'm going to give you 5 minutes where I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to write down what you're saying. Because then you have it's out of your head, it's down on paper, and then you have an opportunity to deal with it and acknowledge it. Because there are so many parts of you. There's the catastrophizing, there's the devil, there's the wonderful person. So actually just acknowledging that part of yourself takes the power away a bit. Communicate. So communicate with someone you trust. You know, communicate your fears. I was lucky when I started freaking out on the way home from the Audi garage, I could communicate with James saying, oh my goodness. And, you know, it's vulnerable to do that. It can feel quite vulnerable to do that. But try and do that if you can with someone that you trust and say, you know, I'm going for this, but these are my fears. This is the voice that keeps coming up.
Think of the times when you have expanded and it did work. So what we're great as, you know, our mind will protect us by also always reminding us it generalises about our failures in the past. So, you know, it's like if you had to step up and take a big presentation, your subconscious will just be like, you're going to be terrible at this. Remember all the times you've mucked it up. Actually, if you can just overcome that and remember the times clearly you've done it well, you probably find you've actually done it more times. Your subconscious just tries to hang on to the times when something did go wrong, make it bigger in your imagination to stop you doing it again. But actually, if you can explore when it did work, you'll often find that there are loads of times that it far outweighed working than not working. So it's good to do that. Remember your past successes.
Yeah, exactly. But now we're going to take you into the future. So the next point is to step into the future.
Ooh, I love a bit of future rehearsal.
Yeah, like James just mentioned earlier on, like stepping into the future and thinking of the cost of inaction, the cost of not doing this. I know we bang on about this in all of our other podcasts, but it's so true. We never ever really look at what the cost of inaction, a cost of not doing anything about this is really, you know, going to cost you. So making sure that you're stepping into the future and thinking, look, if I let that devil on my shoulder overcome me, if I allow it to stop me, to make me completely inert, and not move forward, what's my life going to look like? What my relationship's going to look like? What's my experience of this precious life going to be like if I don't do that?
Ask yourself, why not me? And why not now? Because here's the thing, the time is passing anyway. You know, and the longer you leave it, the more you're missing out on, in effect.
Yeah, I'll really listen to that. Why not me? Why not me? And why not now? Ooh. Little moment there, tumbleweed. And the final one is remember why you started. Really, really important. So many of us get stuck in the mud. We've got that devil on our shoulder. Things get hard. Life kind of sweeps us off in a different direction. And it's very, very easy to let this stuff slide. And then you're back in your vicious cycle again. But remember why you started in the first place. What was it you wanted to feel? What was it you wanted to be? What was it you wanted to show up like in the world? Remember why you started is really, really powerful.
That's
to
a really good one.
To just silence that, not silence, because you'll never silence it. That's what the whole point of this. You won't silence it, but just to make friends a little bit with that devil on your shoulder. It's just saying, I know you're there. It's okay. I've given you a listen, but this is why I want this. And I'd really, really appreciate it if you come along for the ride with me. So there we are.
I hope those tips help. I'm sure they will. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
So remember, team@themidlifementors.com, or connect with us on Facebook in our amazing community, our free community on there, the Midlife Mentors community it's called. You can just search for that. We'd love to hear from you.
Please share this podcast as well, and do give us a review, a good review. But just, you know, it's really, really beautiful, the support we have from all of you, and we just want to help and serve more people. So please like, share, and support us so we can support more of you. Sending you an enormous amount of love. Mwah. Bye.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.